Hello everyone, today we are going to talk about custom hooks in React. So if you already don't know, I have a blog and you can go to this website techwithsaran.com and you can find all the tutorials I have written so far. And I'm adding more of them. So you can subscribe here, you can click here, put your email and you'll be subscribed and you'll get weekly email regarding these tutorials. So today's topic is custom hooks. Right now we are in our project. If you already following the series, you know we have this app.js file where we import our component and that component will be rendered on our browser. Okay, so we need to create a component first. So let's create a component. Let's call it game.jsx, and then we'll add our default game, and then it will have a return statement, and inside return statement we will just put game. And we can come to our app.js, and over here we can import that game component, close this, save it, and if we open our browser, what I'll do, I'll open a browser here. Okay, so as you can see, we can see our text game written over here because we are importing our game component and we just have game inside it. Okay, so far it's we didn't do much, but let's make some progress here now. I'll close this guy so that you have like more of the screen you can see, and then we are just putting all our logic right now inside this game component, and then we'll see how to create custom hooks. So but before we create custom hooks, let's do something fun. Let's create a small game, like it's a tiny game. Let's start with that, and what this game will do, I'll show you. I'll show you like what this game will do. So the name of this game is head count game. It's a simple game where you have a button, and if you press a button you'll get either head or tail, and you'll be competing against computers. So whoever gets the more heads will win the game. So it's a tiny game just to demonstrate like how to use these custom hooks in your logic. Okay, so first thing we need to do is import few of the things. Let's import the useState hook first of all. We import the useState hook because we need to take care of so many local states, so we'll be using useState for that. And let's create some variables. So first of all, let's start with clicks. Like we need to count how many clicks a user make, right? Because you need to end the game somehow. Like you need to know how many clicks a user has made. So we'll create a clicks variable, and then set clicks will manage that. So let's give it a initial value of 0. So initially it will be 0. So clicks, right now it's 0 because no one has click, because we don't even have a button. All right, so that's good. And what we can do then, we need to create a variable to count the heads, right? Like for user. So we will call that head count. So head count is for user, and then we'll have our set function, set head count, and we will have our useState hook, and the initial value will again be 0 because right now there is no head count. Everyone will start with 0. Similarly, we need the same thing, but we need that for computer as well, right? So because it needs to count its head count as well. So we'll call it head count comp, like for computer, and then we will have our set head count. And did I misspell that? Yeah, it should be COUNT count. And again, this will have a useState initial value of 0. Everyone starts with 0. That's good. Okay, this is so far this is fine. Now what we can do, we can add our HTML here. So first of all, let's kill this. Let's add some div first of all, just so that we can render a component. And inside those divs, let's create a button first, right? We need a button to click. So that button will just be like, click me. If we save it, we'll have our button here. That's cool. And then let's give it a onClick event listener here. All right, now we need to pass it a function over here. Let's call this function count user head. And now we need to create that function, because whenever a user click that, this function will run. So let's call it function count user head, and right now it will have nothing because we need to create that logic, right? We need to find a way so that we can have head counts or head count for both computer and for user. The interesting thing here we need to do is, see, we just have one button, and when we click this button, we will need to count this gentleman and this gentleman. Now there are two different variables. So what we can do, we can put all these two variables inside our function, and we will give them a random value, because this is just a random game, right? So both will be competing against some random number, and they both will be different. And that number will be stored here, and whoever has the maximum head count will win the game. So let's create that. Let's create a constant number 1. First of all, what it will do, it will use the math module, and inside it we will use a float function so that it will return the greatest integer less than or equal to the numeric argument. So if it's like 4.3, it will return 4. And let's give a random number, and similarly we need a second number as well. So we just copy that and put our number 2 here, and it will have its random number, and these two random numbers will be different. Now what we need to do is, we need to, first of all, let's use this setter function and add that to this head count. So what we'll do is set head count, and what it will do, it will get the previous head count, whatever is that, and it will add the previous head count plus the number 1, whatever the random number is. So this value will always either comes as 0 or 1. So this will always, if you click it, the number 1 will either be 1 or 0. It can never go beyond 1 and 0, and it can never be a fraction, or it can never be a decimal number. So it always be either 0 or 1. And similarly here. So now, but we don't know like what time it will be 0 and what time it will be 1. So we can apply the same logic. I can just copy paste here, and instead of that we can pass out our computer value. So if we save that, now we have this on click event listener. We have this function, and then whenever we click it, this function will run. And let's print out this value. Let's maybe just for fun, let's just console log those values. Let's put in the semicolons as well so that it won't complain. Let's put the console log here, and then we put number 1 and number 2 and save that. Let's open the console here, go to here, and then if I click it, see, the first gets 1 and the other gets 0. Let's click it again. They both get 0. Click it again. Now the second gets 1. Same. Oh, that's so interesting. Like even randomly, they both 0 and 1 continuously 3 times. So this is a random game, and this has to be random because so that we can find who wins, who gets the most head count. All right. So hope this code is understandable. What we're doing here is we're just storing a number between 0 and 1 here and 0 and 1 here, and storing it inside these head count and head count comp. Now the game is making some progress. Now what we need to do is we need to take care of another thing. We need to take care of how many clicks a user make, right? Okay, so to do that, we can again create a use state. So we can call const. Sorry, my bad. We already have that. We already created that here, right? Clicks. So what we can do is we can increment that as well. So as soon as a user click that, we get a previous clicks value, and then it will add that previous clicks and add 1 to that. So initially it will be 0, and then as we click it, we get that value as well. Okay, so now we have our clicks working. We have head count, head computer count, everything is working now. What we can do, we need to declare a winner, right? So we need to make sure like it will not go, the clicks won't go after a certain number. So for in this case, let's take that certain number 5. So what we need to do, we can put that logic inside a use effect hook. So let's put a use effect hook here, and then use effect hook will pass our values and see who will win. All right, so first of all, we can put a logic. So like, let's say if clicks is equal to 5, and if head count is greater than head count computer, what will happen? We will have a winner. Now, how we will put the winner? We didn't have any variable to track that. So let's create another variable. Const winner set winner. How can I spell? And let's put the use state here, and we'll give initial value of null. So initially it's null, has no value because we don't know the winner in the beginning. So if this is true, then we can put set winner, and we'll say you win. Yay! Save that, and let's put the else statement. Let's say if the opposite is true, head count computer wins head count, then we will have set winner computer win. Yay! I mean, we're not excited computer win, but whatever, right? And then at the end we'll have our else statement. If those things won't be true, like if both are false, then what will happen? Yeah, we will have a tie, and we just put tie here, save it, and we need to, now this won't run because then we need to have those, we didn't declare our HTML to that. Okay, so let's create our HTML. Let's put a p tag and then put like head counts. Let's see how many head we got. So we'll put our head count here, and then we'll put head computer counts, and then we'll add COMP, save it, and then let's put the total click as well. Total number of clicks, and let's give it a, let's pass our clicks variable here, CLI clicks. That's good. And let's see what happens. Okay, number of clicks increasing. Oh, it's 1-1. Oh, it's almost tie. Oh, it's again tie, and again tie. I mean, but did you see, like, we didn't get a tie here because we didn't put that HTML here. So let's do that. Let's put our winner like that. So if we have a winner, we will have a variable will pass here. So if this is true, so this statement will only run when both are true. Like when winner has some value, it will run. So see, it says tie. If I set that, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's a tie. It's a tie. Yeah, again, it's tie. It's a back-to-back tie. Let's say if we can beat computer. It's again tie. What are we doing wrong? We're doing something wrong. Let's debug our code. We can't just oh, did you see that? Did you see that bug? See over here, I'm passing the same number. That's why it's always die. Okay, remove that. We need to put number 2 here, right? Okay, that was so stupid. But see, these things happen. These things happen all the time. So don't get discouraged. Always go back to your code and see what's wrong with the code. You'll always find something, right? Always find something is wrong with the code. So interesting. Okay, click 1. Okay, don't say it's a tie again. No, see, it almost like I made another mistake, but now we have head count. Now computer is winning. Computer won. All right, so hopefully the game wasn't too difficult to understand. But did you see one thing? We have so many variables, and everything is under one file. And what we can do, we can abstract some of the logic, put inside a custom hook, you can call it, and we can just, that custom hook will return all these variables which we're using here. And that will make our code more reusable. For instance, right now we have all our logic here. So if some part of the game, let's say we create this bigger game and then we want to use that logic, then we need to like redo this all over again. And that is against the dry principle. Don't repeat yourself. So always remember, don't repeat yourself in coding. So whenever you can abstract something, whenever you can like put it one place and can reuse, we should do that. But we will need to create a hook. So let's create that hook here. Like who cares, right? I mean, I know it's a, or maybe let's create a folder, custom hooks, or maybe like we can write like that, custom hooks. And inside custom hook, let's create a file, use custom logic. I know it's a bad name, but that's fine, I guess. It's it won't be JSX, just be a JS file, right? We will not be putting any HTML or anything. It will be a custom logic.js JavaScript file. And did you see I used the word use? So that's the convention in React, that whenever you declare or a hook, it always starts with use. So we put that. Now, what should we do? Let's kill that guy. Now what we can do, we can take away a lot of code from here and then we'll just paste it over here. I know, right? It sounds so interesting. So first of all, let's create our function. Like let's default function use custom logic, and inside that we need to pass all that logic. And let's import those use state and use effect hook, use state and use effect. Oh, what happened? Use effect. If I save it, yeah, that's better. Now what we can do, we can get rid of all that code here and just put inside our logic. So we can cut it. I know this will complain now, but don't worry, and just paste inside it. So what we have done is we are took all the logic, everything, and put inside our custom hook. Why it's complaining? Did I miss one F? Oh, maybe that's a, damn it. All right, so now we have everything. Now it is complaining a subject function that contains very possible file of a code. It contains a call set to without a list of dependency. Yeah, we didn't pass list of dependency. Sorry, my bad, guys. My bad. But we'll add it here. We'll add it here. Sorry, I missed that. We need to add in use effect hook. We need to add dependencies, right? So use effect hook needs to know when it should run and when it should not run. So that was my mistake. Sorry for that. I was so excited to create the game. I missed that. Okay, now what we need to do, now we have everything here. The interesting thing about a custom hook is that it must return something, right? That's how like you will able to use this as a function kind of thing, and then you need to call this function here, and then when you call the function you get something in return, right? That's the logic of all the functions. So just let's say return everything. So sorry, everything as an array. So we have clicks, right? Then we have head count, right? We have head count computer, right? And then we have winner, right? And then we have count user head. So all this will be imported. Sweet. And let's add the array of dependency here so that it won't complain. So it depends on clicks, it depends on head count. So whenever like this value changes, it will rerun this it will rerun the use effect, it will re-render everything. So now it isn't complaining. That was my bad. Now the code looks good. We have our return and everything. Now let's see if we are able to do the same thing here, because right now it's a mess. So first of all, we may not need to import that because we don't need it. We have our, but we need to import our custom logic. So we imported that, and it's complaining. Yeah, it will complain. And now it will have, now we will get the list of our these variables, right? So let's destruct that. Let's grab these values and store it in these variables. So let we have clicks, right? And then we have head count, then we have head count computer, and then we have winner, and then we have count user head, and then it will come from use custom logic. So let me make it bigger so that you can see the screen. So what's happening here, we are destructuring our variables here. So this will have this use custom logic will return those variables, right? And these we are storing here inside our own local variables, like they are they scope just inside this game function. Now if we save it and see that, oh, it isn't complaining. Let's refresh. Click one. Okay, computer is again winning. Friends, I can't do anything here. Yeah, it looks like it's winning, and then it's a die. Okay, well, we didn't lose at least, right? But the main thing is the logic is working as fine as it was working before. Yeah, so we just created a custom hook, use custom logic, and we're calling it here, passing our variables in a destructured way, and using it here in our HTML. That's pretty much all in the custom logic, the use custom logic hook here. And that's the end of the tutorial. I hope you get the basic idea of how to use custom hooks. And if it's still like you'll be like, yeah, I don't know, it looks too complicated. Well, it is kind of complicated. If you're a beginner, right, you need to just go through documentation. You can always go through the this documentation I'm writing, these tutorials, because see, I think it's good to have like these videos, but for me, like I need to have like this documentation so that I don't need to like go through like 15 minutes of videos just to get the idea like what is custom hook, right? If I'm a returning user, like you can just go back here and just read and get whatever you want to know. And it can be like slightly different from the way I implemented, but the main gist is here. And you can always Google, right? You can always read the official documentation. I always say, just read the official documentation. And sometimes in official documentation, like they want to like compress everything, and then that's why like people like me comes into the play and they write like their tiny small apps, and I think that has some kind of value. But yeah, enough talking, and that's all from today. I'll see you in the next video. And yeah, please subscribe to my newsletter and channel as well if you're not subscribed to YouTube. I also have Instagram and TikTok. I don't know if you guys into those platforms, but I put a lot of content over there as well. They're like tiny, like 60 seconds I teach JavaScript or React. So if you're into that, you can subscribe to that as well. And yeah, that's all from today's little tutorial. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.